and I'm done.
This is a scene from a movie on domestic violence in Cameroon. A woman comes in, tired from a day's job, only to face an enraged husband. But what is portrayed here in the movie is a daily reality for many women and girls in the Central African country. According to UN Women, 51% of women in Cameroon have experienced either physical or sexual intimate partner violence, and it has been amplified by the measures taken by the Cameroon government to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Yekpu Elinze, the founder and CEO of Beacon of Light Association that works on gender-based violence in Cameroon's northwest region, now says the global pandemic has worsened a bad situation.
School closures, confinement in physical space, physical distancing, and quarantine has amplified tension in homes, abuse, and exploitation of women and girls. Globally, there is an increase in domestic violence. There is no official record yet of an increase in domestic violence in the northwest region of Cameroon, but Beacon of Light Association has been receiving increase of calls and reports from survivors of domestic violence.
The testimonies of the victims are heartbreaking.
As I speak to you now, I have even packed out of my house and I've gone and I'm doing with my mother. My husband, because he just stays in the house, the government has said we should stay in the house, no work, no movement. He thinks that it's his right to have sex every day. Even when I'm sick, he wants it. In short, I've moved out of the house because of this virus. In short, the crisis has dealt with my family. The children are with him. And when I even go there to give food, I'm chased away from the compound. He shouts at me in the public, saying I refuse to satisfy him. I'm no woman. Thanks to the virus, I'm really heartbroken.
Always
The range of abuse is disturbing.
We have had an increased report in rape and other forms of sexual violence as survivors remain in close proximity with perpetrators over a long period of time. We have also inferred linkages between children being out of school due to the enforced closure of school and increase in the reported cases. In addition to physical violence, women are being subjected to mental anguish and control tactics, all of which harm their health and well-being.
But it is not a Cameroonian problem alone. As cities and towns across the world lock down, many women find themselves entangled in incessant quarrels and fights with their husbands in what some have described as intimate terrorism. On Sunday, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called for urgent action to combat the worldwide surge in domestic violence. In Cameroon, ordinary people are outraged by the increasing abuse of women by their own husbands.
No, I say no. A man does not have any justification whatsoever to assault a woman. We all know that due to the coronavirus pandemic, many men are confined home more than ever before with their wives. But a woman's control of her sexuality should not be a justified reason for assault from any man. You also know that violence against women is always an individual choice. It is never excusable, but all men need to stop enabling these choices and stop contributing towards a culture that too often tolerates this gender violence.
I don't think assault of any kind is acceptable, be it to a man or to a woman or to a child. Assault is inhumane. It violates even our human rights. There are better ways of resolving conflict at home. Assault should never be one of them.
The men, they are staying in the house feeling frustrated because they don't know what next. But the woman say many things that the man doesn't know where he could find a way out in solving, giving solution to the problem. So men become vulnerable, they become very violent.
The Beacon of Light Association has been doing its little bit to help the victims.
We have provided psychosocial support to survivors as well as referral services to competent structures to assist the survivors. We think further actions to be taken by government to value women during this pandemic should include the allocation of additional resources and include evidence-based measures to address violence against women and girls in COVID-19 national response plans, strengthen services for women who experience violence during COVID-19, put women at the center of policy change, solutions, and recovery, and ensure sex disaggregated data is collected to understand the impact of COVID-19 on violence against women and girls and inform the responses.
The government has not responded to the growing incidence of domestic violence in the country. It has been more focused on responding to the coronavirus, but Elinda says gender mainstreaming must be factored into the response in order to avoid a worsening of the domestic violence crisis. Kilian Gala, BBC News, Yaoundé.